Hello students, welcome back to NESC Skill Center online classes. Myself Kabishri Bhia, your course trainer from Retail Services. So today we are going to study on the topic use of gestures and social conventions in communication. This is a continuation from the previous class from Unit 4, Communicate with Guests Using Visual Aids, from the module Conversational English. So let's begin. The key learning objective of today's class is explain gesture. Describe the use of gestures and social conventions in communication. So at the end of today's session, you should be able to explain what is a gesture and the various types of gestures and social conventions used in communicating with someone. So what is a gesture? A gesture is a specific bodily movement that reinforces a verbal message or conveys a particular thought or emotion. When you present a speech, you send two kinds of messages to your audience. While your voice transmits a verbal message, a vast amount of information is being visually conveyed by your appearance, your manner, and your physical behavior, which we call it as gesture. So why gestures? Why do you think we use gestures in our communication? All good speakers use gestures. Why? Because gestures are probably the most evocative form of non-verbal communication a speaker can employ. No other kind of physical action can enhance your speeches in as many ways as gestures. So, the first point is clarify and support your words. Gestures strengthen the audience's understanding of your verbal message. Dramatize your ideas. Together with what you say, gestures help paint vivid pictures in your listeners' minds. Lend emphasis and vitality to the spoken word. Gestures convey your feelings and attitudes more clearly than what you say. Help dissipate nervous tension. Purposeful gestures are a good outlet for the nervous energy inherent in a speaking situation. Function as visual aids. Gestures enhance audience attentiveness and retention. Stimulate audience participation. Gestures help you indicate the response you seek from your listeners. Are highly visible. Gestures provide visual support when you address a large number of people and the entire audience may not see your eyes. So, expressive gestures are made using hands, arms, face, and other body parts. When using gestures during communication, you must use them according to the word and the occasion. Let us look at few body gestures. Body gesture refers to movement that is made with the body parts, especially the hands and arms. A gesture is different than body posture in that the former is made consciously to convey different meanings, while body gesture is an unconscious act that reflects inner feelings and attitude of a person. During conversation, gestures can be used to confirm, emphasize, and provide support to a point. The visual cues greatly increase the effectiveness of the oral communication when accompanied with the words. For instance, shrugged shoulders suggest that the person does not know about a subject matter. This is usually accompanied with raised arms, spread sideways, and flat palms, facing upward with fingers pointing in a straight direction. So let us look at few hand gestures. The first picture, it means that it is a palm back gesture. Here the palm of the hand faces the chest while front of the hand is turned towards the audiences. This gesture is used to persuade the audience and make them agree to the speaker's viewpoint. Whereas in the second picture, the palm is held in a handshake position with fingers pointing towards the listeners. It is known as side palm hand gesture. This gesture is used to persuade listeners to agree to the speaker's point of view. This hand gesture displays a strong desire of the speaker to reach out and win the audience over to a point of argument. In this picture, this hand gesture is known as precision grip. This hand gesture involves gripping an imaginary object with the first finger and the thumb. The precision grip gesture is used when explaining finer points or details of an argument to the listeners. Whereas in this second picture, this gesture is known as the grasp or the power grip. It involves gesturing the hand in a way as if the speaker is grasping onto a ball. So there are various hand gestures we use unconsciously while communicating with someone. In this picture, here few more examples have been given. So various hand gestures differ from countries to countries. We also have studied in the Understanding Foreign Culture module. You can also refer that video where I have explained about the various non-verbal communication and the various gestures used in various countries. So here the hand gesture like pointing finger to someone is rude in various countries, and also the thumbs up symbol is also vary in various countries. Facial expression. Facial expressions are a part of non-verbal communication that reflects feeling, emotion, intention, and attitude of the person. A person's facial expression constantly changes depending on how the person is feeling at a particular moment. The facial expression is an action made using facial muscles. Facial expression is an important part in communication. In these pictures, you can see there are various types of facial expressions been given. Usually this action is subconscious, but individuals can manipulate the facial expressions to hide or convey different feelings. Examples of facial expressions that are used during oral communication include a frown, a smile, sneer, raised eyebrows, and yawn. These expressions convey different feelings or emotions. For instance, a frown may indicate displeasure or disapproval. A smile radiates happiness, and a sneer shows a contemptuous or mocking attitude. Raised eyebrows may suggest interest, fear, or surprise, while a yawn may either indicate boredom or tiredness. Eye contact. Eye contact is also a type of non-verbal facial expression. that can be interpreted in different social contexts. In the Western world, direct eye contact indicates openness, confidence, and candor. However, in certain cultures, it is considered as rude and discourteous, which we will talk about more when we talk about social convention. Use of social conventions in communication. So, what is social convention? Social conventions are those arbitrary rules and norms governing the countless behaviors all of us engage in every day without necessarily thinking about them. From shaking hands when greeting someone to the basic etiquettes while communicating. So let us look at a few examples which are forms of etiquettes with respect to communicating with others, which includes looking into someone's eyes as you talk with them. If you maintain a eye contact with the person you are communicating with, it means that you are gaining an interest with what the person is trying to say. But do not stare. Not interrupting someone as they speak. If someone is speaking about something, do not interrupt in between. Avoiding negative expressions and feelings such as swearing or an angry tone. Always avoid angry tone and negative expressions. Not picking your nose as someone talks to you. Showing up on time to a meeting or any occasion. Always show up on time whenever you're going for a meeting or any type of occasion or event. Being polite. You should always say please or thank you as necessary. Shaking one's hand when meeting them or saying goodbye. So there are plenty of other examples, but the importance of such interpersonal social norms cannot be overstated. That's because social conventions such as this help us show that we care for the person we are communicating with, as well as their thoughts, feelings, and words. The social convention also depends on the scenario, how you are treating or behaving with the person. Suppose burping in the dining table is not a good social etiquette. And also, if we look on another example, suppose a customer comes to your store and through your gestures and through your expressions, if you try to convey that you are not interested to attend to that customer, the customer will feel bad and he or she might not come to your store again. So, etiquette and social norms and conventions in general can be governed by themes like culture, power, and intimacy. Social conventions may not apply to all interpersonal relationships within a culture or even more so across the globe. For example, I have already mentioned while about the eye contact. In Western countries, it is considered proper and necessary to look but not stare into someone's eyes while speaking to them. But this isn't the case in all cultures. In some Eastern cultures, you may not maintain eye contact. So beyond culture, other things may influence what is appropriate or not with respect to interpersonal communication. One of these things is the power of dynamic between one individual and another. Similarly, you probably would be best advised to avoid interrupting a boss while they are speaking. So that's all for today. I hope you have understood and learned what is gesture, why do we use gestures in communication, and the use of gestures and social conventions in communication. In case of any doubts or any queries, please feel free to call or text. Thank you.